Hello, 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 and welcome. This KeeperRL overview or tutorial, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to consider it an overview. I've had a couple people ask me, hey, can you give me some of the ins and outs of KeeperRL? And absolutely, I'll do my best. I am by no means an expert. So let's go ahead and join this game that I have in progress. I just started the game, and I guess we can start with the structures tab here. So you have the options to cut trees or rocks, build walls with soft or hard rock. You can reinforce those walls, dig pits, and build buildings. This is also where we have our downstairs where we can go down our Z levels here. So I've started digging out some things here. So we have our resources. The red is iron, the white or gold. I'm going to go with more of a white. The white is granite, which turns into stone. And then the yellow or gold is gold. And those are the basic building components that you'll need. Down at the bottom, it shows your resources where your gold, wood, stone, iron, and other ores are. And of course, your corpses. So you have your adamantium, your axium, or adaxium, your infernite, and then your corpses. Most of the things can go into the green storage here. Most of your raw resources can go in there with the exception of corpses. So you need your storage. You'll need a grave for your corpses. Most of, I mean, everything can fit into one spot, as you can see here. But, you know, you might benefit from having more if you want the aesthetic of your base to look differently. It's totally up to you. So we went over structures here, all these structures. Our doors, we have wood, iron, adamantium doors, which take up one space. So if I were to put down a wooden door, say here, it would now create a door there and we could lock it, or it would take a minute for enemies to go in. And then gates are just too wide. That's why sometimes in the game you'll see me build too wide or single wide, and then I'll put up gates or doors depending. Flooring, every floor has a different morale. So wood has 0.1 morale, stone is 0.3, and carpet is 0.7. Your morale is really important for making sure that your combatants want to fight. If they have low morale, they'll more often than not run away during combat, which will cause you to lose. You want to make your base look nice. That's why we kind of did the whole overhaul on the first run, to make the base look a little bit nicer. And you might notice I've got all these guys lining up down here. So this is our immigration system, and every one of these units has some kind of requirement that they need. So for example, let's take a look at the vampire here. They're not required, they're not available yet in this game. We need a basic coffin. And that way they could sleep. If we take a look at the goblin warriors, they need a training dummy and a basic bed. The wizards need a bookcase or lab and a basic bed, and so on and so forth. Everything has a requirement here. If we look at, say, the Laticorn here, we need the technology beast mutation. We need a pregnant minion, which is a succubus, and we need a beast cage. So the further down we go, and the more powerful the units, the more requirements they have. Speaking of requirements, let's take a look and see at some of the living things here. We have basic, fine, and luxurious beds. Again, these are all increase your morale. And your morale here, if we look down in the right-hand corner there, it goes from a -1 to a +1, and 0 being neutral. So right now, my keeper has a morale of -0.2. If I were to give him some things, say, let's give him a luxurious bed here. Actually, we can't. We don't have any gold. So instead, we'll give him a fine bed. We'll put it up here. We'll prioritize that. So in our orders here, we have things where we can prioritize tasks. So now that we have that prioritized, the keeper is going to run to bed because they are tired. Or maybe they won't run to bed. Maybe I'll make them go to bed. There we go. I'll make him go to bed and we can take a look at his morale. So as we sleep and go through the day or go through the night here, the morale will increase slightly because he's in a luxurious bed, or he has a bed of a luxury of 0.3. We can do other things like installing fountains in here to make the morale look nicer. We can improve the stone floors in here and just make the place look nice, which is why I generally do a lot of flooring and stuff like that in the bases that I'm running. In order for people to level up, they're going to need training dummies. So we'll put down a couple training dummies here, or bookcases, depending on if they use magic or melee. They'll also need archery targets if they're archers. So all of these are how we level up. So we can see that he's increasing. So the keeper's now increasing in the melee and training skills. So if we take in we don't have any warriors that are ready. Let's build some crafting stuff. So speaking of crafting, we have workshop forges, labs, jewelers, poetry tables, all that fun stuff. We'll put in a couple workshops down here. So we have the imps that are now currently working on the flooring in here. So this place up here is going to have a much better luxury rating than anywhere else in the dungeon. So if we recruit these guys, we can now see that we have Moorbag, the goblin warrior that wants to join us, and we have Trambuk, the goblin artificer that wants to join us. Artificers do crafting, and warriors are warriors. So we'll take the warrior in here. So we see that a goblin warrior has joined our force. And then if we wanted to recruit anybody else, we cannot because we need more beds. So what I could do is put in a couple basic beds, maybe down over here. And we'll see that that goblin warrior is just going to come up and join the party here. And he's going to start training along with the keeper. We do want to keep torches in here so that way we have lighting so we can train efficiently. Where you put torches, it doesn't really matter as long as it lights up the area. And torches don't cost anything, which is kind of nice. And we also have things like standing torches, which do cost and wood. So we have these guys mining out there. We have 205 gold. Imps don't require anything other than gold to take in. And I usually like to have 10 of them. Each time you recruit an imp, it costs more gold. So just be cognizant of that. Currently I have 8 imps, which is more than enough for this demo. So we've got our beds installed now. So now we can start looking at other things. So like this warrior here, he has a little red circle around him, which indicates that he has either a positive or negative trait. He comes with a wolf companion, so we'll take him in, we'll take a crafter in, and we'll take a priest in. So that'll cap out who we can take in right now based off of beds and bookshelves and stuff like that. So we see our little wolf companion joining us up here. He's going to hang out. So if we wanted to craft stuff, you'd click on the workbench and then you can craft sets of armor that way. And again, it all takes resources, and we can see our crafter that comes over and crafts that. As we go out and conquer people and destroy villages and you know, gain titles, precious titles for that keeper there, we'll unlock levels. And every level that we unlock, we can basically research something. So the first couple levels you unlock are pretty important because it determines on which path you're going to take in the game. Let's see. So we went over doors, floors, storage. Then of course you got racks like weapon racks, armor racks, so they can be placed to make the base look a little nicer. But really, if you wanted to just throw down an equipment storage thing, that can hold just about anything in the game. Zones, they're good for making guard zones, or if you wanted to have certain goblins only go in certain areas, like we wanted to have a crafting room, and that was this was only meant for crafting goblins, we could put something like that there, and then tell those crafting goblins that they're only allowed to live here by clicking on them wherever he went. Oh, there he is. So by clicking on him and then assigning him to a quarters. So he would only allowed to be in this area. Let's see. Got our library with our magic research. Living quarters. So Beast Cage allows us to use beast in combat. We got a pigsty for when we unlock pigs. Dining table increases morale as well. So if we put down a dining table here, they'll craft it and you'll see that people will walk over there and start clicking on it because that'll increase their morale. So you can see that the morale is now 0.3. Our keeper's morale went up as well. And there are other things that we can do just to make the place nice. Coffins are for vampires and undead. So we ran out of wood, so the items turned red, and it says that we have a negative 21 wood. So if we were to go down here, chop down some wood, the imps would come out here, start chopping, and as soon as we start walking back with the wood, that negative 21 would go away. Automatically deducts what we're going to use for it, and they can go over there and build it. Training is for melee. Crafting is various crafting. You use the forge for metal objects, the workshop for wood objects, lab is for potions, jewelers for jewelry, so on and so forth. Demon shrines are pretty cool. Once you can unlock demonology, you can start summoning demons. The prison is for when you would actually need to build a room with prison floors, a prison door, and you can capture people from different factions. Installments is a lot of really unique and cool things, like we have healing totems we could put down here if we have a guard zone, whipping post, gallows, all for fun for the keeper. Painting canvas are pretty funny. In the second run that I did with the zombies, they will paint things kind of like in RimWorld, where they will paint things what they've seen. It's the same concept here. It's pretty unique and pretty cool. Golden statues will increase the luxury as well as the population limit by 1. And then stone statues will increase the population limit by 1 up to 4. Eyeballs allow us to see even if we're not out there. So if we put an eyeball out here, we'll be able to see. So that's a pretty awesome feature. Portals allow you to transfer to different places on the same Z level. So if we had 2 portals here, say we had one here and one here, they would sync up, and then if I were to, well, you can see people are starting to walk through them. So they can actually go from there to there using the portal. Unfortunately, you can't go down on Z levels with it, but you can use it to travel distances very quickly. And traps. You'd have to unlock traps, but they all have different unique features. Boulders are pretty rad. If you put them in tight areas like this right here, say we dug this out, put a boulder here, anything that walked right here would get crushed. So it's a pretty awesome game. And that's a very brief rundown of what the different items do. Of course, you're gonna take people into combat by controlling them. So if we were to take all of these people, put them on a team, and then click on the team and control it, we'd then be able to walk around with the team of people here. Since we're out here, let's go kill all these humans. All right, so we destroyed that tribe of humans there. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit control mode, and we now have a human that we accidentally enslaved. Oh, it's a child. We're going to go ahead and force them to work for us. So I enslaved the child. We leveled up, so then we can unlock something like I was talking about earlier. So if we were to unlock, say, pig breeding, we now have access to pigsties. So if we put down pigsties somewhere, say here, Pigs will come in and we'll increase our population, which right now is currently 12. We need wood for the pigsty, so we'll go ahead and do that. And then we can pillage all the dead things. So that's a very quick rundown of the, I guess, the outline, the overall outline of KeeperRL. It's a very fun game. It's got a learning curve, just like any godlike game like this. You know, RuneArk, RimWorld, anything like that, Banished. They all have different learning curves. I think this learning curve is relatively easy though. But if you like these types of tutorial videos, let me know, and I'll see about making more of them. But this is my first go at it, so hope it helps, and I will see you in the next one.